Hey everybody, I don't know if we're going to be able to get live. I've been trying now for 20 minutes. Okay, there I am. Okay, bear with me. Let me style the video. Today is Wednesday, March 5th. I'm going to tell everybody good morning. And we're going to share it. Well, maybe we're not going to share it. Yeah, there we go. To Memories Live Videos. Okay. Says we've got one person in. Let me. Is that better? What's that other camera look like? No, I'll do that one. Okay. Marilyn's in. James is in. Well, that's that wind. I've been here for about an hour and 20 minutes. The second gate coming back to where I am back here, when it's pulled shut, there's a big pole that I pull it past that pole so the wind won't blow it open. Well, it blew it away from that pole, and it's bent. But I finally got it to stretch. I pushed it, and then finally got it to start shutting. I'm gonna have to call the landlord and tell him he's probably gonna have to get somebody out here and look at it. Man, that wind, no telling. And it's got those slats in it to where it's not just a solid piece, but that wind must have been blowing. I talked to a friend of mine that's works for Channel 8. He said they've got wind gusts 75, 80 miles an hour out in the country, maybe not downtown, but man. So then the internet didn't work. The internet never did work at the house, but maybe 10 minutes at a time. We didn't have power for I don't know how long. When I got home, the bird was going crazy, wondering what in the heck's going on. James is in, Aaron's in. Anyway, so I don't know if we're done with it yet or what. This wind, 15 years ago, we never had wind like this. I promise you we didn't. It's 43, feels like it's 33, and it shows wind from 9 o'clock until 2 o'clock. Tomorrow it's no wind, cloudy, 65. Friday it's going to be sunny and 80, no wind. Saturday, 60% chance of rain and 61. Just get the heck out of here. This dang weather. It's killed the detail business. Literally killed it. Now the internet's not working again. Are y'all still with me? There was some wires on top of the building that I'd never seen before. They weren't over the building, but they came from a pole behind the building, and they're laying on. You can see where they're laying down. I don't know if they're disconnected from whatever. The TV don't work. So I don't know. So I don't know if y'all are with me or not. Give me a thumbs up if y'all can see me. I don't want to sit here and act like an idiot just talking. Hello. Because I can't see any comments or anything. Okay, there's somebody. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I don't know. If you think you might have roof damage, K Ranch Roofing is our roofing sponsor. One of them. Well, I think it's the only one right now. I will post their card. In fact, I'll post it right now while I'm talking. That's not them. That's not them. I can't read the... Unbelievable. If I wasn't looking for it, it'd be the first one I'd come to. Unreal. Hell, maybe I don't have it anymore. There it is. Jesus Christ. So if you think you got roof damage, don't try to get up there and fall off and break your leg or arm or something. The phone's ringing. I don't even know where it is. You tell I'm not organized this morning. Hold up. Hold on. Hello? No, I'm okay. Why? Who is this? Oh, hi, Marcy. No, y'all asked. No, it's just problems this morning. Took me a long time just to get in the building. Then the internet and stuff didn't work. So no, we're good. Y'all okay over there, Cleveland? I can barely hear you. Oh, your phone? Okay, well, no, I'm okay. Just go ahead and... Have y'all got something you want to talk about this morning? Oh, no, they can start donating money on larryskids.org or .com. I can't ever remember. Y'all asked me that, and I don't know. Let me get with my comptroller, Lindsay, and see what some of y'all are wanting to have a recurring every month. Yeah, no, if we're not able to do it now, we will be able to. I'll get her to get a hold of the Pinnacle and the processing company and let them. Yeah, no, I understand. Right, people on fixed incomes, it just comes straight out of their account. That way they wouldn't have to go in there every month and... No, that's a great idea. Okay, well, put your question in there and it'll be a few minutes. I'm just now getting started here. It's one of them days, you know. Sure. Okay, thank you. Well, at least somebody was worried about me. Wow. Okay. Don't know where we're gonna eat. Well, I hadn't been doing too good picking them eating places. Every time we pick Kincaid's, it seems like everybody in the world's going there. I thought for sure we'd be able to be okay last Saturday at 1, and so I, on purpose, didn't go down Camp Bowie. When I turned off Hewlin, I went to that road behind, that street behind. I was going to park in the church in case there was no parking places. Heck, the church was full. I don't know where all them people came from. But I'll figure something out here and we'll get situated. Okay, they're wanting to know about Thistle Hill. Okay, let me hold on. Let me get started here. How many people we got in? We got 10 there in the South Texas group. We got 43, 57 people. Okay, so the history of Thistle Hill. The oil and cattle tycoon, W.T. Wagner, who was Dan Wagner's son. Let me lower that now. W.T. Wagner was Dan Wagner's son, and his daughter, he had 3 children, Electra, E. Paul, and Guy Wagner. Each one of those 3 people was very influential, I guess, in their own way. It wasn't their own money. The money was made by Pappy Wagner, Dan Wagner, W.T. Wagner. At an early age, his father, Dan Wagner, sent W.T. on a cattle drive, driving their cattle up to Kansas. And W.T. came back with an enormous amount of money. Dan Wagner thought, wow. And W.T. was 16 years old. Another side note, Samuel Burke Burnett also started his career at 16. They were both kids. But back in those days, at 16, a lot of people already had 2 or 3 kids. You didn't live very long back then, or not like you do today. So when W.T. got back, his dad said, we're going to open a cotton gin mill, open a bank, which they did open a bank, do this, do that. And W.T. said, Dad, we need to go up here to Indian Territory, which was later became Oklahoma. And he said, you can buy that land up there for $1 an acre, or we can send our ranch hands up there and just take it, or maybe we can buy a bunch for a good deal. Well, they did. The 3D ranch covered about 5.5 acres, the largest ranch under one continual fence, I think, in the world at the time. So Electra was probably the most sought after debutante anywhere. Her daddy at the time when she was coming up was, W.T. was known as the richest man west of the Mississippi. Millions of dollars. She started dating a guy named A.B. Wharton, Bucky Wharton, who was a socialite from Philadelphia. They got engaged. And W.T. was worried that A.B. Wharton, who was a socialite, he didn't live like people in Fort Worth, Texas lived. They were all refined and went to the operas and the plays and had lots of money. So W.T. said, well, I'm going to build a house comparable to something that he would live in Philadelphia, and maybe he'll keep my daughter here. Another side note on Electra, I think she's the only person, whether male or female, She has a plane, a car, and a town named after her. Electra, Texas is named after Electra Wagner. The Lockheed Electra airplane is named after Electra Wagner. And the Buick Electra, her father-in-law was the chairman of the board of General Motors Buick Division, is named after her. So, WT hires Sanguinet and Stats to design a house. It's 2.5 stories tall, 12,000 square foot. They started construction in 1903 and finished in 1904. Sits on 1.5 acres of land, and in 1903 money cost $90,000. I don't know what 1903 $90,000 is today. So anyway, they got married, lived in it for really 6 years, 5.5 years. Moved out, sold it to Winfield Scott, who was a famous general major in the military. And it's debatable how much money Winfield Scott paid for it. Most people think it was $90,000 to $100,000. That's probably correct. Winfield Scott also built a couple of real fine hotels in Fort Worth. So Winfield Scott bought it. It was colonial revival style home. He remodeled it for another $100,000. So the Scotts lived in it. Now, he died at an early age, so I don't know if he ever lived in it. I don't think he did. The next major thing was 1940. The Girls Service League acquired it. That's up in the air how that actually became about. It got pretty well run down. From 1968 to 1975, it sat vacant. In 1975 or 6, it was a non-profit bought it called Save the Scott. 2006, Historic Fort Worth acquired it. And 2022, they donated it to Cook's Children's Health. Cook's Children has spent to date, I think, $3.5 to $4 million remodeling it. Girls Service League, actually, my mother's house was on the corner of Lofton Terrace and Park Hill, over in the Park Hill edition. And she actually, her house across Park Hill, that used to be the Girls Service League. It was an old home they had. It was vacant when I went over there. The few times I went over there to see my mom, I always asked her, what the heck's that deal? It's for girls that they had problems, unwed mothers, whatever. Now, somewhere in that maze of stuff, when Winfield Scott's widow had it, she had an offspring that was not the most desirable individual, and he actually went dead broke and sold it for $38,000, I think, and went through that money in 6 months. So that would have been between 1910 and 1940. I think it was in the 30s. When his mother passed away, he inherited it, and like I say, he wasn't a very stellar individual. I think he had some type of dependency problems, all kinds of problems. Okay, anybody got anything? But basically, that is the history of Thistle Hill. At the time, it was probably one of the most premier homes, definitely in Texas. Not sure about anywhere else, because like I say, all the people on the East Coast and let me find where y'all are. Carl Statz is your great grandfather. Great great grandfather. Wow. Thank you, Gene. It's good. Everybody wants to feel wanted. Yeah, it was one of the most, still is. When the Scots owned it, the Wagners did too, but not like the Scots. The Scots actually went to Europe and England and France and bought stuff to put in it. I've got photos of some of the stuff. They bought these large vases, whatever you call them, that sit on the floor. I mean, the staircase is really unbelievable. I'll post pictures of it. But, yeah, so what had happened, W.T. and his wife Ella, she was Ella Hossel, at some point early on for Christmas one year, W.T. said, why don't we go ahead and divide our estate up into 4 parts. We'll keep one, Electra will get a 4th, E. Paul will get a 4th, and Guy will get a 4th. And so that happened. About halfway through the next year, W.T. took it all back. He said, hell, these kids are going to run out of their part of the estate within a year or something. So he had a blood trust that went on for years. This thing stayed in court for, hell, the lawyer that was representing W.T. and Ella, this thing was in court for like 20 years. He dies, his son's a lawyer, and he takes it over. I mean, there's no telling what they spent in legal fees. But they finally got it divided up. All of those heirs had a living trust. I know some of them. I think most of them were getting $40,000 a month for life. But about 5 or 6 years ago, I guess, maybe longer, maybe shorter, they got the estate to where it could be sold. It was in between 2 families, the Whartons and the Willinghams. One family wanted to keep it as a ranch. The other family wanted to sell it and just take the money. And they finally sold it 4 or 5 years ago, I think. And I think it sold for, now we're talking about the 3D ranch now, not Thistle Hill. They sold it for $700 or $800 million. It's Cook's Children's Health. I believe we could ask the mayor. She, I think, represents them. It's used for meetings, families that are in distress. I don't know. It's kind of a, they use it all the time, but it's kind of a special deal if you get invited. Now, can you currently view it? I don't know. Why don't we get somebody to call and find out? Robert's in. Robert, you feeling better this week? Robert had knee replacement. I think this is now the 2nd or 3rd week. don't know that answer. The actual structure is 12,000 square foot. Close. I mean, an acre and a half. Well, it's WT. They still have the cattle bearing ball there or something, or they did for years. It was a place for big shots to go, not people like me or some of y'all. It was kind of a, hey George, it's kind of a if you gotta ask the price, you can't afford it deal. You know what I mean? Well, thank you again for calling and checking on me. Y'all are very important to our group. I hope someday y'all will come in and make an appointment on a Saturday, and I think you said there's 35 or there's 43 now. Yeah, we can handle it as long as it's not bicycle giveaway time. If it's bicycle giveaway time, we can't put 10 people in here. And we're going to work on that this year, I hope, when we have a board meeting, that we figure out a place to store this stuff. Because it actually, the detail part and the other part over there is full of stuff during the bicycle giveaway. Okay, good. I don't know if there are, Aaron, I have blueprints of all of the AC Luther, all the Ridgely area. I've got all of those blueprints and renderings. But that's Ridgely, AC Luther. I don't know. You know, over there by Kincaid's, behind in there is a house that Sanguinet lived in. Maybe your great-great-grandfather. Do you know about that house? I've never been in it, so I don't know. You can go on your search engine and put Sanguinet home, Camp Bowie, or Arlington Heights, and it'll tell you. Somebody lives in it. I don't know. No, the music's coming from the pickleball court. They crank that music up early. No, it's full all the time. Someone told you they're in Austin. What's in Austin? The drawings and the renderings? That's possible. It's on Collinsworth. God, Collinsworth is a street over here by University Car Wash too. So you've been in that house? Yeah, in fact, I don't know what we're going to do with all of these drawings and renderings. Everything in Ridgely. 6333 Ridgely Bank, Ridgely Country Club. I've got all of it right here. The original stuff. That's what happens. A lot of our history gets thrown into trash cans or dumpsters. People don't know what they've got. That's why I always tell people, if you've got a bunch of old photos from way back, you've got them in a shoebox or something up in your closet, please get them down and donate them to the museum. If you've seen them and enjoyed them, let somebody else enjoy them, because when the kids or grandkids get them, dumpster. I can tell you what they're going to do with them. I've never, ever had young people or people in their 20s, 30s, or I have had 40s come by and give me stuff that their parents had or something. Oh, okay. Well, that house is somewhere. Maybe that is on Collinsworth. Uh, in fact, I think the people that live in it now are members of our group. Yeah. Everything that AC Luther did, I've got. Let's do the sponsors, because I've got a couple of headlight jobs coming shortly, and I don't want to get caught not ready. Winstead Paint and Body, Clay Winstead, very active in our 4729, good. In our bicycle giveaway and sponsor of our group, long time. This is the day that you need to bring those little four-legged furry kids inside. Scott Sumner is our IT guru. He can build you a website or any technical issues. You just need to get a hold of him. Alpha Design and Build, that's Lance Sanders. They are our remodeling sponsor. What is Ash Wednesday? Fort Worth Florist, Jeanette and her team do a great job. We've had a lot of great reviews. In fact, I got to post some reviews this morning on some of our members that have left reviews for some of our sponsors. Phelps Family Auto Care are in the Burleson area. Mike Phelps and his family and all of their technicians out there are ready, willing, and able to take care of your vehicle. All you got to do, you got to make the first call and tell them you're coming. There's G2 Garage. They are in the White Settlement area. Chris and his team, same thing. All you got to do is call them and say, hey, Larry sent me. I'm coming over. Danny Stroud and his wife has Stroud Auto Supply. It's over in the Haltom City, Riverside area. Been there. I bought auto parts there when I was 16, so y'all can figure out how long they've been there. Jerry Schwartz and his partner Hanson are architects, and they very active in our sponsorship and very active in our bicycle giveaway. Rex's Bar and Grill is the premier sports bar in the Metroplex, bar none. Go check them out. Rex Benson's done a fabulous job with that place. Casey Kroll and his team are our experts on Medicare and Medicaid. But if you try to do it yourself, it'll drive you crazy. Just make the phone call. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue. Charlie is a board of directors member on my giveaway, Larry's Kids, and he's also our state rep, and he also has a great restaurant there. Now, Charlie's brother is Pete Guerin. He runs the Sid Richardson Foundation. They also gave a big check to Larry's Kids last year. Rains Plumbing, that's a family-owned plumbing business. We've had a lot of good reviews from members that have used Rains, family-owned business. They pride themselves in their work. There's Charlie again. Come on, Internet. Optimist Club of Fort Worth, Jeff Norman heads that group up. But the Optimists are worldwide. They do lots of great stuff for youth. Passport Getaways. If you want to take a trip, plan a cruise, say you got a large family and you want to have some kind of reunion in Vegas or somewhere, let Passport Getaways do all the legwork. All you got to do is supply the money and then go enjoy your trip. Old South Pancake House, another Rex Benson owned operation. Got one on University next to Rex's Bar and Grill. and they've got an Old South in Burleson. The Old South on University is open 24/7. Great food, great family. State Farm Insurance, Jenny Stewart is heads that. She owns her own agency there. So if you use Freeway, Farmers, Allstate, whoever, call Jenny's team and see if they can't save you some money. Tell them Larry sent you. Always tell all these people I sent you. Brandon Cross, Cross Electric. They are our electricians. They also got nominated for DFW's Best of, or what's it called? I'm going to post their deal right now. Hold on. So you can vote. There it is. DFW favorites. I'm going to share the link right now. So let's all go on there and vote for Cross Electric. Help get one of our sponsors across the finish line. Okay. Now let me do a little something so they'll know we're rooting for them. Hold on. Cross Electric. All right. Another question from Cleburne. Larry, one of our members heard you say, yeah, that's right. I was at Ridgely Country Club, 1967. I was a kid, 17 or 18 years old. I was collecting money for Mr. Benson, and one of his players was George Thompson, president of Ridgely State Bank. Hold on, Anyway, Mr. Thompson didn't want his employees, I guess, to know that he gambled. And so he had left me a message to just meet him over, or didn't leave me a message that particular day. We had agreed to meet at Ridgely Country Club. He was a member, and we'd just settle up over there. And so I was there waiting, and one of the ladies, receptionist, I guess, whatever she did, came over and said, Larry, Mr. Thompson called, said he's going to be about an hour late. So I went into the men's grill and ordered a soda, a Coke or something. And there was an African-American gentleman that sat down next to me, and I shook his hand. I didn't say my name or anything, but I was kind of mystified. I thought to myself, I know there's no African-American members at Ridgely Country Club at that time, and there might have been, I don't know. But he didn't have a uniform on like he worked there, so I didn't know what the heck the guy did. And so I was waiting, and I heard a band crank up, and I went in there to where they were playing, and I asked somebody, I said, well, who is that guy? Otis Redding. 30 days later, he died in a plane crash. Yes, that's true. Okay, so on to bigger and better things. K-Ranch Roofing, if you think with all these high winds you don't have a clue whether you got roof damage or not, call K-Ranch Roofing and you'll talk to Bree. She'll set you up an appointment. They might be a little busy right now. One of our members yesterday asked for their number, and I called Jorge and Bree, and they called him, and I guess they got him looked at yesterday afternoon. Fort Worth Lumber, they have been sponsors on our group and active in our bike giveaway for many, many years. Eric is with Express Dent. They're on White Settlement Road. Their sponsorship actually runs out this week. So I'm looking for a new dent repair PDR company. But Express is, well, I'm getting all kinds of messages. Express Dent is across from, on White Settlement Road, across from about where Audubon BMW is. Or Audubon Jaguar. No, probably BMW. So I need another PDR company. Richard Carr's nephew is Dickie Carr. This gentleman's in his 30s. He owns a company called Grateful for Your Trees. I'm sure they're busy as all get out. A lot of tree damage out in the Hazel Springtown area. But they do everything to do with trees. Anything that you can do with trees, they do it. And his uncle is Richard Carr, Pat and Richard Carr on Dickie Carr Sand and Gravel. Great people, very active in the community, always there to help a lending hand. Steve Colburn, Colburn's Catering. They've been the cafeteria opened in '46, so they're 20-something years away from being in business 100 years. The cafeteria closed in the '60s. I used to eat there. But they still are in that same spot. They do their cooking for their catering company. So you got a wedding or some kind of event or a party, whatever, call Steve Colburn. He can fix you up. Tell him Larry sent you. Bart Ladner Real Estate. Wes Williams, our friend and fellow member. And Wes is also on the board at Larry's Kids. Wes operates out of Bart Ladner Real Estate. For those that don't know, he got into real estate here a few years ago, and man, some of the houses he sells, they wouldn't even allow me in them. Nice stuff. There's one of the Peacock boys. Sandy, good morning. A-Bird, AC, and Heating. That's Dub Peacock. So if you got heat or air issues, or you think you might, it's making a noise you don't recognize, call Dub's office and they'll get you somebody out there. Eric Walsh is also a realtor. He is also on the board at Larry's Kids. Great guy. Now this next sponsor is Yellow Snake Horses, Brazos River Ranch. We're trying to plan a picnic out there in the spring. It's about an hour's drive from outside the city. She's hustling up people for a spring break. Go down there. Not everybody can afford to go to Destin, Florida, or some other down the coast. Go an hour's drive away and take your kids or grandkids down to ride horses. $75 for an hour and 45 minutes or 2 hours. That's too cheap. Yes, the museum needs donations. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But somehow we got to get donations or whatever. Yeah, I know who you are. I was sorry to hear your dad passed away. I don't want to talk about it on the group. Your dad and I had problems, but all that was in my 30s, 40 years ago. So, like I say, I'm not going to talk about that, what the issue was. I did reach out to him when I was still in my 30s, and probably 87, and he didn't want anything to do with me. No. So I'm here every day. Sometimes on Sunday I'm not here. And I leave every day at 1, 2 o'clock. Saturday I always leave about 12. Okay, boys and girls, I got to go out here and get this other side open. I'll figure out where we're going to eat today, and if you got any ideas, message me. I've had a couple of people want to go back to that chicken salad chick, but we need to spread it around, so we'll go somewhere. Anyway, love all of you, and I will see y'all